There you go, guys, doing a little test drive just to make sure things are good. How's it feel, Shivo?
Feels good.
Feels good? Welcome back to That Track channel. Today I want to introduce you guys to my Honda Civic race car. It's K24 powered and it's here right now at Don Valley Mechanics getting some work done for the upcoming race season. Now this car is new to you, it's not new to me. I've actually had this car for a couple of years now, and whenever I first bought it because it's supposed to be a turnkey ready race car with no problems. Now let me tell you guys, it's had nothing but problems since I bought it. When I bought it, we had to put new seats in the car, had to put new belts in the car because they were expired. When I bought the car, we ran into suspension problems right out the gate. Tinkered with it many times and can't quite get it figured out. From there, we've had clutch problems. My first ever race, the clutch gave out halfway through the race, so the car's now got a new clutch and flywheel all put in. Next time out on that racetrack, the transmission blew out and I parked the car. I was just done, I've been fed up, and here we are today, 2 years later, getting it ready for our wheel-to-wheel session coming up next week. Now this isn't actually the car, let's go check the car out. This car here happens to be an SIR with a full race build on it. This car's probably making about 600-700 wheel horsepower, and these boys at Don Valley play with all of it. These guys tune, they build, they do all kinds of crazy stuff for some of the fastest street cars in Winnipeg. But here's my Honda right here. So as I said, this car is K24 powered. We've had it on the dyno. It made about 238 wheel horsepower, and it's a full prepped race car. This car actually raced in Super Production Challenge out east in Quebec and Ontario before, and it's well equipped. It's got mugen coilovers, Wilwood big brake kit on it. It's a full caged race car. We've got Lexan windows, and as I said, we've got all the goodies. Now we got a new ACT clutch and flywheel, and we were just doing a trans rebuild right now, so we're gonna actually check up on the action and kind of follow along with the day to get this car ready. So now, as I mentioned, this is a full caged race car. So all windows are Lexan or plexiglass, probably Lexan. But yeah, it's got the mugen rear duckbill kind of wing on it. The hatch is crazy lightweight here. I'll open it up for you guys. Completely gutted, as you can see here. I'll try to show you up. Completely gutted, obviously, as I said, with a Lexan rear window. This car does have a fuel cell in it, and as I mentioned, fully caged. One thing that I love about this car is the guys did things, in my opinion, really properly, and they put a quick fill nozzle on the jerry can here and on the, obviously, the fuel door coming in, so you can actually fuel this car in probably about 30 seconds or so from empty to full with that jerry can. It just pumps, you just crack the cap, and it just obviously lets air in and it just dumps it right into the tank super fast. It's really cool. Here's a better look of the interior. So we got a Sparco steering wheel. I got a new Sparco seat in the car, as well as Sparco belts. Batteries over there on the floor there. So here's the hood for the car. It's just on 4 quick release pins, and it is fiberglass, so it's super lightweight, super easy to get off the car. And for the rims, we're currently running these OZ or Oz, however you say it, wheels. And the tires are a BF Goodrich G-Force R1, so they're a 40 treadwear slick. They're probably nearing end of its life or getting down there anyways, but I'm still gonna run them just to obviously try to get this car dialed in and get some seat time with it, because I really haven't had much time with it at all. It should be a very competitive car up here in Winnipeg. Tire sizes, we run a 245/40/17 up front and a 225/45/17 in the rear. As I mentioned, under the hood, this is a K24 A2, which is probably the most popular engine you could put in a Honda. And especially, it's a great application for road race because K24 is obviously one of the torquiest Honda motors you can buy. It does have a 6-speed DC5R transmission in it with an M factory plated LSD. Obviously, as I said, I think we blew up 4th gear, so the trans is going to come out of the car, and we're going to see if we can replace 4th gear and get it back into the car. As for mods on this, the car does have this short RBC manifold on it, as well as a 70mm hybrid racing throttle body, and the car does have full 3-inch exhaust, and it's tuned on kpro. There we go, guys. Transmission is out. We're gonna have to crack it apart here to see what's going on with it.
I think your leak is coming from here, Gary. Where that is. Yeah, this is no common problem for them. Yeah. Go. You'll have to.
Oh, that would be perfect.
Well, you'll get something. This selector won't work with the SI selector.
Well, guys, we're getting close to the moment of truth here to find out, is the transmission actually broken, or did I just have a bad dream and make this all up? Well, look at that, guys. Monday, we got a surprise visitor here at Don Valley Mechanics. Say hi, Tyler.
Hello.
What's going on? This is the fastest Audi in town, isn't it?
Settle down.
Here's the moment of truth, guys. Let's see what kind of damage we did.
Oh. Right here. LSD gear. Sheared it right off. And then what gear did it shear with it? What's this? Oh yeah, the main gear.
Quasi right here.
No, it's right here.
There's two teeth missing on this.
No, this is the whole issue right there.
What about these now?
No, that's not it. Same damage as my SI trans. Same thing. It needs this whole, it needs this shaft, and it needs this ring gear replaced.
Okay, so for the record, everyone at home, I told you guys I am not mechanically inclined. However, this was not just a dream. I was telling the truth. Houston, we have a problem.
He's chunky.
Oh, that's here too, cause you look.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. It's all fucked up.
But you know what? We'll take a quick commercial break and have this back in no time.
Hi, I'm Ryan Smith.
Hi, I'm Siobhan Zafar. Welcome to Don Valley Mechanics.
I've been in the automotive industry for the past 17 years and currently am the manager at Don Valley Mechanics.
This year, we're a proud sponsor of the Track Channel Civic. However, the bulk of the work we do around here is on your everyday vehicle.
And this includes things like ball joints, brakes, rotors, to transmissions, and full motor jobs. We have a very competitive rate at only $89.95 an hour. Check us out on Instagram or stop on in for a visit or give us a call at 204-589-4644.
Hey, thanks for tuning in. We're going to get back to work on that Civic.
Okay, guys, so the trans that was in the car, we ran into some bad luck. The LSD let go on it and unfortunately took some gears with it. Luckily, I have purchased a Civic Si with an LSD trans for replacement, and the boys are actually just going to crack it open right now just to make sure it's a good fit for the car. And there's some changes and stuff that have to happen. Obviously, like my car would have had an RSX shift selector. This is going to be a Civic Si shift selector. So there's a couple things that need to be figured out along the way, and yeah, hopefully it all works. Here we go, guys, moment of truth. Let's find out if the Civic Si trans is any good. Well, so far no metal all over the place.
It looks really nice in here. Yeah.
The last one had metal everywhere, so this is a good start. We might be in luck, boys. What do you think, Kazi? How's this one looking?
It's looking pretty decent. Yeah, it looks fine.
There you go, guys. Have a potential fix here. So as I was mentioning, guys, one of the other problems we had with this car is the car does have Mugen coilovers, which are really, really top end. They're like $4,000, $5,000 for this car. But what happened was, I'll show you guys after, but the top mounts are kind of like rusted and corroded. So there's bolts that lock camber positioning in on the top mounts. And what was happening is the bolts were sliding back and forth. So the wheel was like, imagine I'm just trying to move my hand here, but the wheel was doing like this whenever I was cornering in and out. And obviously it was insanely dangerous. So I've ordered new top mounts from the UK. I got nitron top mounts, so hopefully they'll bolt up onto these Mugen coilovers. And then we just gotta get an exhaust welded back on, because when I blew it off the track, we ripped the muffler right off the car because it was in the middle of a race when it happened. But yeah, as I mentioned, we ended up putting an ACT new clutch, new flywheel. We put a light and flywheel in this car too, because once again, whenever I first bought it, the clutch was just done on it. It was, as soon as it got a little bit warm, it would just start slipping instantly, and it wouldn't even let me finish one race with it. So I've had my problems with this car, but hopefully now the boys at Don Valley Mechanics here will have it all sorted out for me. So transmission is going in, and the tranny that's going in is from a 2010 Civic Si with LSD. We ran into some major hiccups yesterday, because what happened was the transmission that was in the car was from an 02 to 04 RSX. So this car has a shifter and shifter assembly from an 02 to 04 RSX. So it won't work with the Civic Si transmission. So what we were trying to do was use the front half of the Civic Si transmission with the back casing from the RSX, in the hopes that we wouldn't have needed new shifter assemblies or anything like that, but just could not make it work. The case and the C-clamp going in on the main gear set just would not go into place at all. And what we had to do was actually buy the shifter box, like the shifter assembly and cables, out of a 2010 SI to make this whole setup work. So trans, as I said, is going in, and yeah, we've got a few other things to do, like some suspension work and get a muffler put on this car, and hopefully get it all buttoned up and be out of here today. Okay, so quick update, guys. It's been a long, grueling day here, but so we've got the Civic Si shifter mounted in place now. Trans is in the car and just getting some finishing touches going on with the whole trans setup with the new cables, etc., etc. But now on top of that, we're on to the next challenge, which has been the coilovers. So these are some really, really baller coilovers. I'm gonna try to zoom in on here for you. Those are a set of Mugen coilovers. Race only, they say right on them. They are some of the best coilovers money can buy for these EP3 chassis cars. Problem being though, is they had these kind of one-off custom made top hats. And what's happening with these, or top mounts I should say, is the metal was starting to corrode away. So what's actually happening is the car is creating its own camber every time it goes around a corner, and the whole system was moving. So I actually bought a set of really fancy top mounts, which are actually over here, I'm gonna show you, in the hopes of replacing the top mounts onto the Mugen coilover. So I have these nitron top mounts, which are gonna be for sale right away because they don't work for my setup. And why they don't work is the shaft size is a different size. So what we're doing is, because I do really want to go racing this weekend, is we actually had Ryan here with Don Valley come in, and he's actually sprayed this, so it's kind of a little bit hard to see, but that would be one of the top mounts like what I just showed you on the floor. But what they've done here is actually welded the thing pretty much shut. So whenever the new shaft goes in here with the coilover, it's going to be fixed in place. So we're gonna try to eyeball it as best as possible to give the car a little bit of negative camber and hope for the best, because we need to get this thing out onto the track. So these are gonna get welded shut so they'll never be able to move again, kind of thing. And we're just gonna make do with what we got for the time being. So here we go, we got the masters at work right now, just doing kind of fitment here with the coilover going into place. We got Kazi, we got a pack of beer. We'll ignore that, it's after hours, okay folks?
PBRs and race cars.
PBRs and race cars, there you go, Ryan. But yeah, so with this new fitment, you can see Kazi's actually tightening up the bolts right now, but with these bolts, they no longer have the ability to move or adjust camber. So what we tried to do was fit the tire on the car, and just kind of, as I said, eyeball it as best as possible to make sure that the car had a little bit of negative camber. And these bad boys are going to be staying in this position forever now. Unless, well, I guess we could grind out if we needed to make an adjustment or something like that, but it wouldn't be fun. So we're going to get the car through testing this weekend though and see how things go.
Alright, so what we're doing right now is we're trying to salvage this upper strut mount. I've cut off a piece of metal here. I'm just going to shape it to fit here a little bit better. That's my mark. Right there, that's maximum. I'll shape that around it. I'll fill it in full of weld. We'll mark our 2 holes. We'll center punch those, drill those out. This will all be filled with weld, and we'll have 2 perfect holes to mount our struts to the upper strut mount.
Sounds good, boss man.
Let's get her done.
Okay guys, so I know it's only been a couple minutes, but here is the final result. Going back in, so as I said, that's gonna have no movement at all now. But the nice part is there actual is camber adjustability lower down on the suspension points. So they can make some changes if we need to, which is great. So it's only the big max attack angle that we're not gonna be able to adjust up top. Now I said it's only been a couple minutes, that's a lie, it's been a few hours. This is not easy work, even though the camera makes it look like it is. And P.S. I did none of it. So the muffler on the car is not the fanciest of things. It was a Flowmaster, I believe Super 10 is what was on it, but this is the old muffler that is coming off. As you can see, it obviously took quite a bit of damage. And what happened was the last time I was driving this car, when the transmission did let go, we were in the middle of a race and we were on the straightaway, and I had no choice but to blow it off on turn 1 at Gimli. And for those of you that don't know, turn 1 has a very, very severe drop off. And yeah, it completely destroyed the muffler and ripped it right off the car. So the boys are just putting in place the new one. We just got the exact same one, which is Flowmaster again. I'll just show you out back here. Kind of hard to see there, but there's the new one. So they're gonna get it welded in place here, and we'll get this all operational. We'll be good to go. Okay, so everything's finally all put together, and we're gonna actually test this thing out to see if it fires up. We got Shivo sitting inside. Shivo, I gotta ask you, before you hit the switch, how confident are you that it starts?
100%, this is a Honda, it will start.
Oh, there we go. Okay, well let's check it all out. Give it a fire up. Woo! She runs. Looks like we're going racing this weekend. There's a big bag K24. That's right, guys. This weekend, we're gonna get some action with this K24 Civic. See if we can bring home a first place win. That's right, guys. Thanks. Big shout out to Don Valley Mechanics for making this all possible. Couldn't have had this car ready if it wasn't for these boys here. Make sure to check them out. If you need servicing done on your regular street cars, these guys are the guys to get the job done for you. Check them out on social media. There you go.